So, I just saw the newest Terminator movie, Dark Fate. These are just my first impressions, quick thoughts after my first viewing. I love Terminator. The first film's awesome. The second one, I genuinely think is one of the greatest films ever made of all time. The rest of them suck. I mean, Salvation tried something different, albeit failing miserably. And Genesis... Yeah, no, there's nothing good about Genesis. The only thing I remember about the third one is there was a pretty cool scene in some crypt or something. And Robo-Boobies! Seriously though, I see why this newest film went the Halloween route and said, no other film past T2 matters, this is the real third one. The point is, I went into Dark Fate hoping for just one thing. I knew it could never live up to the first two movies, so I was just looking for a fun time with even just the tiniest sliver of effort or care. The film is directed by Tim Miller, whose only other major film is the first Deadpool. That's a pretty good resume, despite it being just one movie. There's too many writers to name! The film stars franchise veterans Arnold Schwarzenegger and Linda Hamilton, and also features newcomers such as Natalia Reyes, Gabriel Luna, and Mackenzie Davis. So with this director and this cast, I was excited. I'd been hurt too many times to be too excited, but I was cautiously optimistic. Suffice it to say, it's directed well, the action scenes are great, if a bit bloated and overly intense at times. Also, there were moments when the movie was wicked brutal, which I loved. That's what the Terminator franchise needs, horror and brutality, and this film takes steps in the right direction towards that. The cast knocks it out of the park, and while I love Mackenzie Davis, I gotta say the real showstopper here was Linda Hamilton. Great in the first film, Oscar-worthy in the second, and just fantastic in this one. I will say that the film takes a while to get good, and by good I mean not just one big action sequence with no real substance. At the midpoint, the movie kinda hits a lull, but it actually takes advantage of that lull to provide some genuine emotion in both the story and the performances. So the middle is actually probably my favorite part of the movie, despite it being really dull in comparison with the rest of it. Here's the thing though. Some of the, say, choices with certain characters really shocked me. I mean, it's ballsy what they did, but I'm just not sure that it was the best or most respectful decisions they could have made. I don't think that the film is any more disrespectful than the other so-called sequels, if you ask me. I mean, they just kill off Sarah Connor and Robo-Boobies, and don't even get me started on how Genesis treated its characters. Still though, the story is honestly the weakest link in this movie, and while the direction and acting are all really solid, the story is repetitive and left me a little sad that this is the canon continuation from T2. Oh, and quick side note, I'm really sick of people saying the biggest issue with this movie is that it's woke.
You did it! You broke comedy down to its bare essentials!
Despite that, however, I genuinely think that with all of its major issues, it's still worlds above any other Terminator sequel past T2. Because even if it fits with the Terminator legacy a bit, it does have some genuine moments of heart that are affecting, and that push it past the dumb action flick rut that the franchise has been stuck in for over a decade. Also, did I mention Mackenzie Davis?